Hey guys, how are you? Good morning. It is, I'm sure, a beautiful day because you've chosen it to be that way today, didn't you? So don't forget to comment, don't forget to share, don't forget to continue to change the way you think as a woman, because that's why we're here. I want to remind you of our mission together as a group, as a sisterhood, as a tribe. We are no longer going to live like prisoners to the thoughts, to the rules, to the roles, to the ideas that have been handed down to us through our family of origin, through our society, and through social media, and all the bombardment that comes at us about the way we're supposed to be as women. So what I want to tell you about it also is that we're not fighting, we're not rebels. Anything you fight against, anything you struggle against owns you. We don't fight against anything. We become exactly who we're meant to be by creating that. And I am a woman of faith, so it's a little bit of a twist in that for me, not a twist exactly, but what it means for me is that I live in a state of surrender to maybe what some of you would see as infinite intelligence, or other people call the God that I call God, universe. But I think no matter what the name is, that there's a spiritual factor here, and that when you're in a state of surrender and you're co-creating with, to me, a God of magnificence who created the whole universe and created everything that there is, we want to be committed to be a part of the magnificence of growth, of learning, of becoming, of being who we were actually meant to be. We want to be able to get to the end of this particular life in this body as fulfilled in our destiny as we possibly can. So I just want to encourage you, just even spiritually. I know that, some people have different faiths, or people who have different belief systems might not fully understand where I'm coming with this whole approach. But basically what I'm saying when I'm talking about I create my life, I'm very well aware of the fact that I have been created. And I believe that all the DNA in my body, all the little packets, the seeds, that's how I think of them, like little seeds, like an apple seed if the apple seed, it doesn't grow the way it's supposed to, it doesn't become an apple tree. So it's the same thing. I believe we have all these little hints, these little desires inside of us that's packed in our DNA. And a lot of what happens, and they've discovered that the thoughts that we think unzip our genes and release proteins. So these thoughts actually are creative in nature, and we have 35,000 possibilities with our one gene. So when people say, oh, it's hereditary or whatever, yes, things are hereditary. They are in our genes, but there are also 35,000 other choices. So we are co-creating just with our mind, our thinking, and our being. So you want to be very aware of, there's something that says, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. And basically the way I look at that is that also we have to be sure that we are gatekeepers to what is going into our thinking and what we attach and continue to think. So if we have an old thought that comes from old experiences, or from old programming, or from being conformed to the world we were born into, what ends up happening is that thought, very often we're following, and we're still following it all the years later, through all our life, following an old idea that basically is bringing us to the old outcomes. So now it is our job. Do you hear me? It's our job to pivot from old thoughts, to shift our perspective and say, no, I no longer follow what I was formed into outside of, the divine. I'm not following parental principles that I think are dysfunctional. I'm going to follow the rules and the roles and the idea, the magnificence of growth, when we talk about a growth mindset. So this is kind of like a little blurb I'm throwing in there in terms of spirituality. So if you guys today, as a form of a challenge, okay, I want you to think about and write about, you know, what do I believe outside of me? You know, what do I believe in terms of, you know, when we talk about a state of surrender, who, what, when, how, what am I surrendering to? Because I think people are very, very subliminally running their lives based on some other thing being in charge of them. So when I talk to you about taking charge of your life, it's this kind of funny thing, because when I say who's in charge of my life, you bet your bippy I'm in charge, but I'm also in a state of surrender. In charge of this being that was given to me, this body that I'm in charge of, that I've been given, just like when you're given a baby, you're supposed to do the right thing by it. So, you know, we want to take charge and lead this operating system, this body, in the right direction. And we are not islands, you know, we don't do this alone. That's also why we have this sisterhood. But I love the idea of being surrendered, you know, the idea of being a power greater than ourselves. So I want you to write down, what's the power greater than yourself? And if this is something that's kind of like new to you, or you don't even want to like go there, or you don't think, or you don't believe that there's a power greater than you, I want you just to think about, sometimes people just look out at the vastness of the world and the earth and the universe, and you say, oh my goodness, that's definitely bigger than me. All the laws of the universe are definitely bigger than me. So I want you to think about that and write about it, and just notice throughout your day. Notice, you know, when things aren't going right, what do you return to? Do you return to old patterns and defaults? Do you return to maybe the idea that like, oh, I can do it, this is all on me? Or the kind of idea that I'm pressing forward with you guys is like, yeah, you know what, I'm a badass creator, but I'm not doing it alone. You know, I believe in infinite intelligence. I believe in the vast, unbelievable power of a God and a greater than all of us, you know? So I just hope you guys have a great day. And I just want to tell you, I am not imposing my beliefs on you. I'm asking you to open up your eyes and open up your experience in your mind, and actually begin to look and think, what do I actually believe? Because another thing is, a lot of us who've grown up in the church, the belief systems have been handed down to us, or grown up in the synagogue. And those have been handed down to us. I have a Jewish father and I have a Christian mother. And there are many, many beliefs and also kind of social norms that you can find in the community that you grow up in, no matter whether it's a religious community, your schools, your neighborhood. But you want to ask yourself, what am I following that's bigger than me? Is it the community of my church and what they believe, what they think, or they're telling me how to operate? And does that resonate with who I believe God is? You know, if you're in another situation where it's like, you know, I don't have that faith. Well, to ask yourself, like, well, what are the things that you do believe in? And how does it feel? You know, it's a good question to ask ourselves without feeling pressured by other people. I want to make that clear. I'm not doing that. I think that what happens when people are people of faith, they think they have to check their brain at the door of wherever they are going and go in and just follow what they're told. And I don't believe that a magnificent creator of this universe would ever want us to dumb down. Does that make any sense? No, but we're kind of asked to do that. So when we have faith, it doesn't mean that we have to be not thinking. So I'm asking you to think about, what do you have faith in? What do you believe in? What means something to you? Remember, there is no like right, wrong here. You're going to be yourself, and everybody here, this is not like controversial. I don't want you guys like you know, whatever, preaching or negating someone else's beliefs. No, we are here to love and to learn and to know ourselves so that then we can become who we're meant to be and who we want to be. So that is my challenge. I know it's longer this morning because I'm trying to formulate how to like explain it in such a way that everybody kind of gets my drift. So I hope you have a beautiful day. Consider your spirituality, consider your faith, consider where you're coming from, consider if it has harmed you in some way too. And how is that impacting your decisions today? If, you know, different people, places, and things within any kind of religion or faith have been hurtful in your life or distorted your thinking in some way, okay? So have a great day. Remember, don't take this personally. This is not about preaching or finding something right or wrong with anyone. This is about just knowing you. That's it. That's it. And what you want. Some people are like yearning to, they're like, oh, I wish I had faith. I just don't. And some people are like, oh my God, people with faith are a bunch of crazies, which there are a lot of them out there, I have to say. And whatchamacallit, just the idea to take in this idea that's all around us. There's religions everywhere. And there's fighting everywhere around it. So this is another reason for us to, this is another part of us that we should be taking a look at and understanding about ourselves. And if you're in a situation in terms of your religion or your belief that you've never asked yourself, oh my goodness, who am I in relation to this belief system? And do I believe it? Do I actually believe this? And what do I believe and what don't I believe? And if you were handed down a story about a God that seems not kind or good, you want to at least just face it and know that, okay? Have a beautiful day. I can't stop talking, ladies. I'm hanging up. See you in the morning.